Hi there, I'm Kitty and welcome to Sagebrush Soul's Bare Bones Basics of Truck and Tractor Pulling. This is a bonus video I made to help people that follow our travel video series that understand the sport of truck and tractor pulling, which is frequently the purpose for our travel. I was going to call it Pulling for Dummies, but if you're watching this, you're already one of the smartest people I know, so that didn't fit. This is going to be a quick, simple overview of the sport. If you want to get a deeper understanding, I recommend going to ntpapull.com and checking out the Fan Zone and Pulling 101. Let's get started. The first thing we need is a sled. They come in all shapes and sizes, and there are different versions like drag sled, speed sled, trip sled. We're not going to get into that, because the basic operation is pretty much the same. This is the believed pulling sled owned by Petro Motorsports in Ontario, Oregon. First, let's go over the parts of the sled. Many of the sled parts have different names in different parts of the country, so don't send hate mail if you think I got it wrong. First up, the weight box. Obviously, this is where the weights go. This is the pan. It has bars welded to the bottom of it called grouser bars that help it dig in and stop the pulling rigs. This is the primary chain. It hooks to the pulling rig. This is a safety chain. Several classes require a safety hitch that is in a lower position on the truck or tractor, so if the primary chain or hitch breaks, then the safety chain stays connected, and the lower position greatly reduces kinetic energy between the pulling rig and the ground, so it's pulling with a lot less force. Very scientific. Not seen in this picture is a device that attaches to the tether switch on the pulling vehicle. If the vehicle breaks loose from the sled, it pulls the tether and kills the electricity on the gas and alcohol vehicles, and drops a guillotine in front of the air intake on diesels. This effectively shuts them down. The sled operator can also activate the device and shut down the pulling vehicle if something goes wrong. Most of these that I've seen are a small ATV winch. These are the lights. The red ones mean not ready, and the green ones tell the end flagger that the sled is ready to go. We'll talk about that later. This is a trip switch. This works with hydraulics or pneumatics to incrementally put pressure on the pan. Back here is the cab or the cockpit, or in this case, this is Corey's house. This is the flag, but you probably already knew that. I'll assume you know what tires are too and just skip that part. Next, we'll talk about the operation of the sled, but before we do, since you stuck around this long, please consider subscribing. It helps me out a bunch, and if you already have, thank you so much. Almost all sleds operate with the physics of weight distribution. As the pulling vehicle pulls the sled down the track, the weight box moves towards the pan, pushing it into the ground. Each time the box hits a trip switch, it puts additional pressure on the pan by using hydraulics or pneumatics. The speed of the box and the intervals of the trip can all be adjusted to match the horsepower of the class that it's pulling. Weight can also be added or removed from the box, typically at 2,000 pounds at a time. Once the sled is set for the class, it doesn't change. The goal of the sled operator is to set the sled so that the best vehicle in the class reaches the 300-foot mark, which is a full pull. Most full-size pulling sleds weigh in at 32 to 38,000 pounds. But with the added resistance of the pan, grouser bars, and weight distribution, they can produce nearly 250,000 pounds of synthetic weight. When the box reaches the front of the sled, it pushes this lever forward and disengages the box. Now let's join Katie in the Shake and Brake Pro Mod 4x4 and see it all in action. First part of the process is to fist bump Skylar. Very important. Then she pulls out on the track and puts her hands up so Bert knows it's safe to engage the hub. One hub is disengaged for moving to and from the track, and it makes steering a lot easier. Then Bert beats on the hood. It's okay, he always does that. Now Katie backs up to the sled. Matt helps guide her back so Jake, not seen in this picture, can hook up all the gizmos we talked about earlier. There is a neutral safety light that is required near the hitch to show the hooker that the vehicle's in, well, neutral. And I'm not calling Jake a hooker, it's the job title. I mean, Jake's not a... Jake hooks the truck to the sled. You know what I mean, right? Oh, there's Jake. Now she pulls forward as gently as possible to take the slack out of the chain. Now I shall illustrate how flagging works. After the lights turn green on the sled, the end flagger down here, somewhere, checks the end of the track for any people, equipment, or other hazards. As soon as it's all clear, he drops his red flag and raises his green flag. He'll also wave the red flag at the end of the pull when the puller is no longer making forward motion. When the start flagger sees the green flag, he does a similar safety check and raises his green flag, letting Katie know it's safe to hit the skinny pedal. If there is a safety issue, either flagger will wave the red flag. If a driver fails to shut down when the red flag is waved, it could result in the disqualification. You can see as Katie moves down the track, the box is moving forward. If you look closely, you can see the pan drop as the box hits the trips. There you have it, a very basic introduction to truck and tractor pulling. Now you have the knowledge to go and support your local truck and tractor pull. I hope this helps you enjoy the Sagebrush Soul travel videos. Thank you so much for watching, and may the best of your past be the worst of your future.